and welcome Snappy to the podcast.
Hello, thanks for having me for this interview.
Yeah, Snappy's interesting because like he's actually someone, you're someone who I think I only met this year.
Yeah.
And then apparently you're a big deal.
Yeah, we met at Title 2023. Yep. Yeah, and I first talked to you probably on the internet way before Title.
I don't even know how I talked to you. Like maybe like I forgot how I found your Telegram. Maybe it was through Twitter, but I really can't remember what the first conversation was. But I think it was sometime this year.
Oh,
I don't know if I talked to you. I don't think I talked to you last year, right? Or did I?
I think it's at the end of last year, to be exact. Like you, I think it's on Facebook. It's not Telegram. Yeah, something like that.
I only knew that you were was it Aurora's like partner. And that was it. Like I saw, because like I could see that on Facebook. I was like, "Who's Snappy? Like, is this guy like is he white?" Because your name, you know, like I don't mean that in an offensive way. I looked at your name, I'm like, man, who is this guy?
Oh yeah, it's totally good. It's totally good. Yeah, yep. it's that you know Aurora's. So me and Aurora's now are very very close friends, and it's been it was because of Aurora that a bunch of people actually know who I am. So that it probably including you.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right. I've known Aurora for probably like 4 years by now, 4 or 5 years. Aurora was probably one of the first 10 Thai furries that I met. I see. Like back in like 2017, like 5 years ago, I think. 2017, 2018, around there. But welcome to the podcast. We don't always have a lot of musicians on the podcast. I think we've had Paroto before. He was one of the, I would say, earlier guests. I think that might have been back in 2020. We started the podcast in 2020, and he was one of the guests back in 2020. I think we've got a few other music composers / DJs on the list, but of course we don't want to reveal too much, so we'll get there when we get there.
I see.
But as with any other guests, just tell us your name, your persona, and where you live.
Okay, so hi everyone. For people who listen to this podcast and doesn't know me yet, my name is Snappy, and my persona is a border collie, and I currently live in Hanoi, Vietnam. And also, I'm 26 years old. I work in music as my full-time career.
You're younger than me? That was my first reaction. Oh yeah, dang, Snappy's younger than me. Didn't know that. All right. Well, you mentioned you're from Hanoi, and we also had who else is from Hanoi? I think Kusu is from there.
Kusu,
right?
Yeah. I know about Kusu, but I never talked to Kusu before. Bios, I think he used to be on your podcast. As well. Yeah. So
is Bio also from Hanoi?
Bio's not from Hanoi. He's he from the southern part of Vietnam, and he just happened to live in Hanoi for roughly 1 year before he moved to Australia.
Wow. Gotcha. Shout out to Bio, shout out to Kusu, because I think Kusu's gonna be at Furget. No, I'm sorry, First Square, the con, the Doujinshi con right before
the Furget and First Square.
Yeah, he's not going to Furget though. So, I guess he's just flying out, or maybe he's doing something else. But anyway, but shout out to those guys. How did you get into the fandom though? I don't even know how you got into the fandom. I just know that you're Snappy the glowing eye doggo.
So I get into the fandom in I would say 2011, when I have this love in like a cartoon characters back then already. So in 2011, it was summers and I don't have anything to do, so I was on my computers looking on stuff, and so I find fursuit and fursuits, and I found there's this kind of thing exists called furry convention. So I was like, what is this? And I wanted to know, so I discovered the fandom from there. And back in the day, actually I didn't know that like there is furry in Vietnam at all. So when I went to like an IRC chat, yeah, back then
Back to
I didn't know,
IRC.
yeah,
Oh wow, taking me
yeah,
back.
still the IRC chat back then, yeah, until like 2 or 3 years into the fandom, people switched to Skype group chat or
Yep, I remember those days.
I don't even know if Telegram exists back then yet, but I think it's the same time around something. Yeah, so that's how I get into the fandom.
You got into the fandom, like you said, it was 2011, right?
2011, yes.
What did you know if there was like any other kind of like Vietnamese furry forum, or was it just through IRC stuff?
So mostly IRC chat. But like I think a few months later I found out there's like Vietnamese furry around places, and like it's so crazy that's like if I look back at it, it's already like exactly 10 years ago that I find the furry community in Vietnam. Back then it's like only like a few furry in Vietnam back then. Most of them are living in the Ho Chi Minh City, and not a lot in Hanoi, in the local town. And I was only like 15, and I was so curious about the furry fandom and stuff like that. But like eventually, I met a lot of great people who like helping me, like telling me stuff about the furry fandom and stuff in the local. And I can say that like back then I just I was a kid back then, and like a teenager back then, so like I was pretty shy back then. So I couldn't talk much to people. I'm just stay home and get on computers like every time I get back from school. I really didn't talk much to the local back then. I just went straight ahead and go to like forum for like for affinity forums or something.
Yep, for affinity.
So IRC chat and for affinity forum was like part of my life back in my early furry fandom days.
But did your parents ever like do they know that you're a furry?
Back then they don't. Now they do. I have to briefly say a little bit about the furry fandoms. They don't.
Okay.
They quite supporting me. Even though like they not sure what it is. So because it's right now, even now, is still a very very like a foreign concept about furry fandoms. Especially when you try to explain it to your Asian parent, it's gonna make them quite confused about what it is. So yeah.
When did you tell them that you were a furry though? Like what year was that? Like back like way when you were like in high school, or?
Actually 3 years ago.
Oh, okay, so kind of recent.
Yeah, because like if I say it, I mean like it's very very easy for me to explain it for like like recently, like the world changed quite a lot since then, like especially like 10 years ago. But if I tell them about this like 10 years ago, they will be freaking out. I don't know. It just feels weird back then because I have no confidence back then to like tell them like what it is. It's pretty hard for me to do that.
I think it's amazing, and it's an awesome thing that your parents accepted you and like they supported you. I think like even in America, which as you know that's where I'm from, I think a lot of people who do furry stuff, they still don't like telling their parents like until they have to. They usually won't do it freely. They have to have a reason. Like when you buy a fursuit, it's just like, how do you hide that from your parents is the question. But I think like we've had guests on the podcast where like, I think I remember like, for example, like Rita back in the Philippines, like she has a really supportive dad. Her father is really supportive of her, like of her being like a furry artist. And I'm all for that. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, my parents actually know about me being furry when I got my fursuit. So because like I have to like like do laundry and stuff like that. So I actually have a photo of the day I unboxed my fursuit, and I carry my
Mhm.
mom in fursuit.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah, like oh my gosh, what when was that? Was that a couple years ago or was that 3 years ago?
2021 actually.
Yeah,
September
yeah, a couple years ago.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my, I think I remember that on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. It was that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about like how was it like, growing up in Hanoi then?
Yeah, so because like Hanoi is a capital city of Vietnam. So
Hmm.
when I was young, my parents was like extremely busy at work. So
Hmm.
they couldn't really take care of me well back then. So I have
Hmm.
to live with my grandma in one of the district in Hanoi. It was very influential. Like I stay with my grandmas and my grandpas. They raised me for the entire primary school until
Hmm.
the start of secondary school. So primary school, I was so young and I want to do everything. Like I play like I play with the kids in the neighbors that
Hmm.
has like actually it's very satisfying to tell my past life with my grandparents is always the thing that I always look back because it's so nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
Um, like the back then there's no internet, there's nothing. We only have this
Right.
Nokia's brick phone that I
Yeah,
play
yeah.
Snakes on. Actually, my aunt have like an internet at home, but like I wasn't allowed to use the computers, back then. But like I was so back then, I was so into computer. I was like
Yeah, yeah.
just love computers so much. I went for like a computers science contest for juniors back then, and I
Interesting.
actually won the first prize for it.
Wow.
Yeah, because like they was like a competition to like do like doing like a Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel skill. So like I grew up with my aunt just like doing stuff on a Microsoft Word like back in the day, like Microsoft Word
Hmm.
2003 or something like that. It was so old. But like having all of that together and like hang out with like a group of friends. Oh yeah, like my old group of friends in primary school. Oh man, I just now remember about it. It's just so funny. Is that like whenever I talk about like my past life when at the place like where I grew up, it's just like things just came back to my head like
Wow.
immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
So like my group of friends, like every time we have like a birthday with of like a member in our friend group, we just like we ask like our parents, in my case my grandparents, to
Right.
buy the invitation letters to write to like invite them to the birthday party, and most of them they house like surround the school. And the school is like inside one of the in a small corners of the street. The school is just like crumble like by a bunch of houses like
Yeah.
small houses. They home just around there. So we just after school we just go to their place and we just like saying happy birthday. We like giving gifts and stuff like that. We
Hmm.
have to
Hmm.
ask our parents or my grandparents just like buy stuff to give them, and it was so fun. I would do anything to go back to that. It's a very memorable things for me.
Yeah, that's such a sweet and such a really nice like childhood memory.
Yeah, childhood memory. And it's a motivation for me to keep going in life nowadays,
Yeah.
which is necessary for me.
I know you said that you had like an intense interest in computers, and
Yeah,
so I was just kind of curious though, like is like what was your major in college? Like I know we're kind of skipping a little bit ahead, but like what did you do in college?
I do art in college actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that why you also like occasionally share, I think is like some art, I think?
Yes, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
No wonder, no wonder. Yeah, 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 yeah. What
Yes.
like, well tell us like, like what got you interested in art?
My grandpas and my mom teach me piano when I was young. I was forced to do piano when I was young. So until
Did you think that
yeah,
was a good thing or bad? Thinking about it, do you think that was a good thing or a bad thing?
it's kind of a bad thing for me back then.
All right.
Because
Okay.
I was forced to do something I don't want to, right?
Sure.
Until
All right.
secondary school, I was like, even during primary school, I just into computers that much. So I talked to my grandpas and my mom. I was like, I don't want to pursue music at all. So I went ahead and just like starting to learn how to program things on the computer by myself. Like I learned how to write like a simple, like a very wacky, weird ideas, like like an useless programs back then, on like a .NET framework, using Visual Basics programming language. And then eventually I learned C# and C++ by myself because my parents finally like realized like I like computers. So they brought me to computer school for a few years. And then I graduate and high school. High school. And then, like at high school, I was having like I was confusing. I don't know what I want to do back then. So,
Sure. Well, you were young, in high school, like a lot of kids, I really feel like a lot of kids don't know what they want to do in high school.
Yeah. So during high school, I like at the time I already found out about furry fandoms. So I was like for a few years in furry fandoms until I graduate from high school. Before I graduate from high school, I was like, maybe I like drawing. So I went for like a drawing classes during the last years of my high school. And then so because I want to draw furry, so I did my entrance exams to one of these art college that I registered to to attend. I didn't expect much until I found out that I passed the entrance exam. Wow. And I got into the college school. I was like, this cannot be real. So is this like, it was just like a small idea that I think that I couldn't do, but I got it anyway. So I studied in art college for 5 years after that. And I finally graduate in 2020, which is the year's COVID hit. And
I'm forgetting that you're so young. I'm forgetting that, like you're like what, 3 years younger than me, I think. Yeah. Just for reference, I finished my bachelor's in 2017. And then I just finished my master's right now. I did 2 years of language training before my master's, so I had like a little bit of like time between my bachelor's and master's. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I actually that's all.
Okay, sure. So did you ever think about like doing like computer science then, or some kind of like like engineering? Because you mentioned how you had such an intense interest in computers.
Actually, I always think like back then I always think that I would do computer programming for my life because I just love doing those kind of things. Like imagine I was young back then and I have like ideas for my life career back then. So much imagination in my head back then. Was like, imagine if I can create this program, I can have people doing this and that on the computers. And I think that was like a very, very simple thing that I really want for my computer programming careers. And so at the time I thought programming is my career choice back then.
Okay.
But then I hit a teenage life crisis back then. So I did not, I at the time I lose interest in computers. And so, like it's falling apart for me. And, by high school, I just don't know. It's just like, it actually feel like you just break up on a long relationship. And this is, in my case, just computers.
I mean, I've always had an intense interest in computers myself, and I mean, I don't think you know about this, but I actually was an IT tech for 4 years back at my college.
I see.
Yeah, so I was one of those people who could not, like, I couldn't go to college without working. My parents, I come from a poor family, and so they could help me out with like, I don't know, like food money maybe, and like maybe gas money.
I see.
But a lot of the times I had to pay for things myself. So I had to get a job. So I did IT work for 4 years at my college, and I haven't really done IT work ever since, though I still have like very basic like troubleshooting skills. I have very basic like hardware skills. You know, like I think I'm kind of a little bit rusty on these skills, but anyway, like, yeah, I'm also a computer nerd is what I'm trying to say. And I thought myself I would do something with computers, but you know, look at me, I ended up getting a degree in history and a degree in translation. Did you like art school though? Like, were you someone who like, did you enjoy it? Because I mean, you obviously went through the full 5 years and you graduated in 2020. So how was that like?
Oh man, it was really really long. It feel like I really enjoy my college times, even though it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so long.
Mhm,
It took me 5 years to graduate.
mhm.
Actually, they don't have to be like 5 years to graduate from the
Right.
art college. Because like my last year, I literally don't do anything at all because like I don't have to go to college at all to study
Yeah, yeah.
anything because the entire college years last year's I just at home spending time to work on my graduation project. That's it. And
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
the first year is probably like the most freest years I have done for my college because at the time I just like I only have two classes back then. So I have a lot of time back then for you know like to do
Mhm.
music stuff. So
Sounds right.
even though it was pretty enjoyable for me, I can just say like in 1 or 2 years after that I just starting to lose motivation and stuff for art,
Yeah.
and that's when my music career is going.
So you think like you had like this like, you know, like transformation, like I guess like that interest in music, did that really occur in college or did it occur earlier?
It's occurred earlier. So
Yeah.
a little bit of the story is that
I mean, let's just
yeah.
get into it. Like what got you into music in the first place?
Yeah. So my parent, my grandpas and my mom teach me music when I was young. Like they teach me how to read music sheet
Wow.
and play pianos back in the day. And then I blah blah blahs. I just like lose interest in music because I was forced and it was it wasn't very nice at all. So I went to computers and then actually in high school just to fill the gap between secondary school and high school is that in Vietnam you have to do like entrance exams
Yep.
for high school. I have to join a competition like a singing competition to get points for the entrance exams, like a bonus point for entrance exams.
Yeah.
So I eventually joined like a music team to go to a place called Haiphong to do the music competition. And my grandpa is the directors of the show, and he signed me up for this because like I really need to squeeze as much points as I could to pass my high school entrance exams.
Mm-hmm.
So we went all the way there, and we and at the time it's like 2011 actually, a few months before I found out furry fandoms. And one of my friend there, they introduced me to like you know like I didn't really listen to any kind of music back then because after it's
Okay.
like after I was like I don't want to study music and stuff like that. I just stopped listening to music. It sounds weird, but yes, it's like that. So my friend introduced me to this type of like electronic music, and that's where I found out about dubstep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I discovered Skrillex and dubstep. They give me I still have like a vivid memory of it. My friend just introduced me to this things called UKF dubstep August 2011, which is you know they still listen to it now because it's the introduction to this type of electronic music. When I first listened to it, I was like, this is like the future of electronic music, you know. So
Yep.
eventually I got the bonus point because we won the first prize. And that actually changed my life. You know, like yeah, it just changed my life and how I view music, you know. So
You're saying through that competition, you said that singing competition, that's when you discovered dubstep.
yeah,
And
it's actually,
discovering
yeah.
dubstep changed your life. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so like it was a
Mm-hmm.
singing competition, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, I just listening to mostly dubstep music for high school, and
Mm-hmm.
then during high school, you know, like this is after I graduate from secondary school and already joined high school as a juniors.
Yeah.
Um,
So in Vietnam, there's secondary school, then there's high school. Because in the U.S., like they're the same thing. We
yeah,
we
so
wouldn't
yeah,
separate.
so we have primary school, secondary school, primary school for 5 years, secondary school for 4 years, and then high school for 3 years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Got it.
so like during my high school, I discovered you know, like the I think you know FL Studio, um
Mm-hmm.
Ableton Live back then as well. So I
Yeah,
study.
I was gonna ask about that Ableton.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always
yeah.
ask that question.
Yeah. So like I learned how to use those two software in the beginning days, because I was like, I wanted to make dubstep out of these software. So what should I
Mm-hmm.
do? I just grind with it. I was like going on YouTube, because back then there's not much Ableton Live and FL Studio tutorial,
Mm-hmm.
because like that's like a pretty new concept, you know. Not a lot of people do tutorial at the times. So like I find no tutorial that I want to find, so I just have to like reading on the forum, just like, oh yeah, you have to do this. You have to turn the knob to the left like about 20% something. They just describe everything on
Right.
the forum, so I just read that, and
So
that was like,
this
yeah.
was like back in like 2011, 2012.
Yeah, 2011,
Mm-hmm.
20.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually
Gotcha.
2012, actually, mostly 2012. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you mentioned that like you didn't really listen to a lot of music like prior to high school. Is that right?
Yeah, because back then it's like you know, like I just tie up music. It was so
Sure.
dumb for me to say it now, but like I was so tired of music back then, so I don't want to listen to
Yeah.
any kind of music at all. So it's
Do you think it's because like you were like forced to like study music, and that had like a negative impression on you,
actually
and but then like
mostly of it.
and then you think like because you discover dubstep like on your own, like you weren't forced to learn dubstep. Do you think like that had an impact on how you feel about music?
Yes, actually, absolutely yes. Because like it's come to me like very naturally, you know, like it's
Mm-hmm.
just inspire me to create and pursue music. I think about it for a while. I was like, it is feasible for me to. Is it viable for me to do music at all? So that actually proving me that it is viable for me to
Sure.
turn it into a career. I wasn't sure even when I studied college. I wasn't really sure about it at all
Yeah.
until I tried.
What was sort of like the spark, or what was like the reason why you gave music a shot? Because after you graduated from college, which was in art,
Hmm.
how come you didn't get a job as like an artist or like a graphic designer? How come you chose music, or like what was with that?
Okay, so a very short story about this was because like for the entire high school, I you know, like I write music, but like there's no much interaction on my music at all.
Hmm.
I just create music, and I met people along the way, and they still my friend now, and I'm you know, like maintaining like like this long kind of relationship was, you know, is an achievement for me.
Hmm.
Like a big milestone for me. You know, for me, like friendship never die. So technically is that like when after high school, you know, I chose art because back then I still doesn't know music gonna work for me at all. So
Yeah.
I could choose music for my college, but I choose art instead. At the times, I could say it was like a big mistake for me, but now I feel like, oh, I can benefit from art as well. So it's pretty good. But when I joined high school, and you know, at the times there were like this game called Undertale. For
Yep.
people who listening to this podcast,
Yep.
Undertale is the RPG games that is very, very, very popular by Toby
Yep.
Fox.
Toby Fox. Yep, Toby Fox.
Yeah.
Shout out to that
guy. Shout out to Toby Fox. He's amazing because I have to
Mm-hmm.
work with him for the official Undertale remixes albums.
Also, you actually did talk to Toby before.
Yes, actually through emails, because like
Mm-hmm.
he's supervising that album. So
Gotcha.
yeah. In college, I write these two Undertale remixes that people still listening to this day. It's called Once Upon a Times and my remix of Megalovania's
Yep.
remix. And
Yes.
that remix was, I just did that remix in like 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, or something like that, because back then I just write music like very, very fast. Like it just feel like I speed running on music, but it wasn't. I post those two remix on SoundCloud, and then I was too lazy back then. I didn't know anything about designing like visualizer and stuff like that. There's no visualizers concept in my head back then, so I just using like a tube2tunes.net and just upload some mp3 file and it just make it convert into a video and post on my YouTube. So I didn't think much about it until 3 days later, after I released that remix, people comes in to my SoundCloud and YouTube. I never had such interaction from people listening to my music and complimenting me. So it feels weird. And I, like at the time, it's only like, like hitting 1K plays on SoundCloud back then was like a huge thing for me already. But no, this like a weeks later, it hit to 100,000 plays on SoundCloud and YouTube at the same time. And after like a few days in that week, in that same week, I hit 1 million on SoundCloud and YouTube, and it went viral. And
like
that's
combined,
yeah,
like 1 million, like
no,
the numbers combined.
1 million each. From
wow. Oh wow.
So I was like, oh my god, I'm actually doing this. So people actually, I see people interacting to my remixes. So I try to do something different. Is that like, what if I put my original song on SoundCloud and YouTube? Like, how it's gonna be like? So I have this song that I worked with my friend back then. So already been done and stuff like that. So I upload a song on SoundCloud, and people just instantly like it, because like back then future bass music was like a very, very big thing, and I accidentally write like future bass music, and for my style back then, I don't really have style for my music back then. I just write the music that make me happy. So that song turned out to be Lemon Sodas, and that song, I mean, like people still interact, and stuff like that. It was like make me and my friends just like feel very happy that like like people care about our music. It feels nice. It's motivate me to like write more music. So at the time, like my first 4 years in college, I just write music like crazy. I just write music like
I'm
literally.
noticing that like the Megalovania remix, like I'm noticing that it says that it came out in 2015 October. So that's, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that like while you were starting college?
Yeah, that's actually when I started in college, like 1 month after I start college.
So basically, like while you were still doing art, like you were still exploring music.
Yeah. So like music like a side thing for me at the times, and I just pretty enjoy that. I would do anything to go back to that time because it was so fun, and that's how I starting to meet people, and like by 2015. People moving from Skype to Discord, because Discord actually, it's like we didn't know Discord gonna be like a big things for all of us.
I remember Discord, like I remember before you can even rearrange anything, like it was just like text channels and voice channels, but like they didn't let you move them around. I think they were like sorted alphabetically, and there's no categories. And like there's no I remember there was no streaming at first.
There's
and
no
it was
streaming.
all very, it was so bare bones, like in the very, very beginning, like they had like limited roles. I would kill to like go back to Discord 1.0, like just to see how it was, because I was one of those people who like, I only use Discord for voice chats. But I think people use it a lot more. Like they build a community on Discord now. People
use Discord are like big things for the community and stuff. I still use Discord server. I actually have my Discord server still available around sometimes. So like,
Are you talking about Tenkitsune or are you talking about something else?
Oh yeah, Tenkitsune one for sure.
Yeah. I just joined, by the way, if you noticed. I snooped around a little bit, but I wanted to go back to my question. Was like, so even though you were studying art in college, it's because of these like remixes, because of your songs that you were doing like independently on the side. Is that what gave you like the inspiration and like the motivation to then say, okay, you know what, I want to do music full time?
Yeah, it's basically how it is.
Gotcha.
It's just motivating me to write more music and stuff like that, and because as I have like attention from people listening to my music, it's just like my mandate from the beginning of when I start writing music is that like I don't write the music for other people. I just write the music for me, and people will come for my music.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. How would you describe your music though? Like, what genres do you fall under?
Nowadays, I just like combine genres and stuff like that. But like, I could say that my genre of music is just like kawaii future based kind of things. Like
I don't even know what that is.
Okay,
explain that to me.
So
I'm dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not,
future based.
Dude, I only like I just want to explain to the audience. I did learn piano as a kid, but only for like a year, and then I did learn violin for about a year.
Oh,
but
you played violin?
Yes, but I'm also one of those guys. I was a second violin, if that means anything to you. So
still good, yeah.
So basically not very good, and but I had to learn how to read music. So I read treble clef, violin. I read treble clef. I learned violin in middle school, but when I got to high school, I moved to Texas for high school, and I stopped learning violin because they only offered band instruments. So they didn't have, if I'm using this phrase correctly, they didn't have symphonic orchestra. There's no symphony orchestra with like a combined full orchestra. It was band.
Yeah.
So you had to play like woodwinds maybe or percussion, but I don't want to do that. Like I learned the violin. I didn't think it was worth it to learn a new instrument.
Yeah.
So I basically stopped at that point. So like all this music stuff, like I know basic music theory, I know basic like music history, but like I don't know the new genres.
so electronic music, just like electronic music is a very, very interesting to say. There's a lot of things to say about the genre of electronic music, because like eventually like genre inside a genre inside a genre. So like kawaii future bass, the subgenre of future bass, which is a subgenre of electronic music. So kawaii future bass is a music that is like inspired by Japanese cultures and combining with the future bass genre of music, which is actually I don't know how to explain this, but like. To me, people describe my music as like like future bass for my style of music. But like for me, I just want to write the music I want to write. So like
so you have like a more pure intention.
Yeah. So I do not know. But like if people want to call it future bass, then it's all fine by me, because it
future bass though, like doesn't it include like. Doesn't it have influence from dubstep and trap, or is that, or am I wrong?
Yeah. Actually, it's a influence from those kind of things, like combined together into make it future bass. Kawaii future bass, just like like just incorporating like Japanese element into it. Like for me,
like Japanese like pop, I guess. Or...
Yeah, actually Japanese video game. Because like Japanese video game composer are crazy. They are genius. They write like they just break the boundary of chord progression and stuff like that. And for me, I was extremely inspired by that. So that's why I write like those kind of music, and I'm just like trying to describe my music like. I just want to write like very happy, positive kind of music. So
have you ever listened to any, like, I feel like you have, but have you ever listened to any Nobuo Uematsu?
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
One of the composers for Final Fantasy for the longest time.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think he doesn't work for Square Enix anymore. I think like he does other stuff nowadays, but he's He's one of my favorite composers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot
Shout
of
out to
people.
that guy.
Yeah, shout out to that guy as well.
Shout out to Senpai.
Yeah.
But
So
do you like I also want to ask another small follow-up question, but like, you know, like we're talking about electronic music, but like have you ever thought about like going back and doing like classical music?
I could, because like right now I'm working on like I work at the company and freelance as well. So my client sometimes ask me like do you can you do classical music? So yeah, I have to like I have to be able to write all kind of music genre. And actually because of that, I am pretty flexible on how I can do with music. Because like if they ask me to do this and that, I have like things in my head that I can plan. For example, like for classical music, I can just like I can assemble like a bunch of people to play like a live instrument or something like that, and I will write part of the song for it. It's just pretty flexible for me to do this kind of stuff. I have to know how to write this kind of music.
Sure. I think this is a great segue, and like I know we're a little bit all over the place, but I think like that's okay. Like it makes the conversation more organic.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great segue into what I was going to ask is like you've done a lot of international projects. I think you were talking about like Coke for Vietnam, and so like didn't you do like some kind of like commercial thing for Coke for Vietnam like sometime earlier this year? Was it like a few months ago? Was it?
It wasn't Coke. It was actually Huda's, which is like a Middle's Vietnam beers brand that actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
So the beers were actually made by the people behind Heineken. But it was localized. It wasn't. I don't know if it was localized or not. But like basically, I don't drink beers that much nowadays. But
Sure.
I write because they have like a big music festival and stuff like that. So I have to write like music part by part for the like a week-long festival that they have to like travel around the middle of Vietnam and stuff like that. So it was kind of like that. I mean, like for international project, I some of which I cannot say the name.
Right.
Because I am still under NDA. I can't say anything much about it. But like I can just say like when you work with client so like I work with this brand, but like I have to work through an agent, like a advertisement agency. So
yeah, so it's probably like you're not working with the company directly. It's like the middleman. It's like the agency helps you find these jobs.
Yeah.
But then and like you communicate with the agent normally, I would imagine.
Yeah, actually
my understanding is that like also like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the agency, because they're a business, right? They also take like a little bit, they take a cut out of like the payment, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because I mean it's an agency.
Yeah, because that's the agency. And also like because like it's part of our deal, so it's in our contract with the client as well. Normally my process is like write the music, send the file to the agent, and the agent send that to the client, which belong to the marketing team of the company or something like that. And then they will give us feedback, and they will throw it to the middleman, and the middleman just like like tell me like client doesn't like this, client likes this, and what I should change, what I should delete or something like that. So it's like that like all the times. So so like if anybody asks me like how was it feels like to work with this kind of brand, it was really tiring, because like most of the time I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say something bad about this, because it's just that like it's just pretty tiring, and people client mostly doesn't know what they really want. So like during the production they we just build idea, and they just like, okay, I have an idea now, I want to change this, I want to do that. So most of the time they don't really have the concept in their head about it, because most of them doesn't know much about music. So it was it was pretty hard for us to like give them the idea, because we just like blindlessly just trying to find out what the client want, and other times the client doesn't know what they want, so we have to find idea and stuff like that. So in general, it was fun. It was I feel proud of my products being used in like a very big brand TV commercial or something like that.
For sure.
But
You should be.
yeah, but like at the same time, it was pretty tiring.
I still find it so astounding that you're able to get into these like really big projects. You know, for someone in Vietnam, where it's like, you know, like how come they don't go to someone in America? How come they don't go to someone in Europe? But like you're able to like get these like really big projects. Like I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
I never had the breakthrough, dude. Like I mean, like I'm still waiting to get hired by MiHoYo. Fingers crossed. Well, for the voice acting stuff, like I've tagged them a couple times before, but I mean, you know, even if I was hired, I guess it's all NDA, right? But like I never had the big breakthrough yet. But fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
You know, give yourself like a pat on the back though, because like to kind of go back to what we were talking about, like with school, like you've been through like 5 years of school, and you've had like these like amazing like interactions with your fans
audience,
and your audience, like while you're going through art school, and then like now you're getting like these big projects. Like I think that is amazing. For someone so young.
I don't think I'm young anymore. It's just like I'm getting
wait till you're 30, man. Like I mean, I'm not 30 yet, but like when you can tell me that when you're 30.
I actually like you know, like I have like a list of things that I really want to do before I hit 30s. So I just want to do everything I want before I hit 30, because like, you know, life is pretty short, and you know, I mean, like my life is not gonna be over when I hit 30. It's just that like I want to enjoy stuff that I really want to do before then.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I think your 30s is my 40s then. Like I've done a lot of stuff in my 20s. Like I'm 28, if that means anything to you. So I think I have like basically the same idea, except, you know, for me it's going to be my 30s. I mean I just graduated like 5 days ago.
Oh yeah. Congratulations.
Like I think you saw. Thank you. I mean we'll drink. I mean if we see each other at my party, we'll see each other in like a week and a half. I need to clean up my room and do some stuff before leaving Taiwan, but yeah, like I'm really excited to just finally relax a little bit. It's been a very difficult and stressful past couple of months, I would say. But no, like I had an epic graduation party last Friday, and I'm gonna be drinking with some friends tomorrow and Friday, this upcoming Friday. So yeah, I'm ready to relax. I'm done with like my thesis and everything. I'll ask like this one quick question and I'll move on, because we were talking about like freelance work, but right now, like what is your work situation? Like where are you employed, if you're allowed to say? Like what do you do as a full-time job, or is it just only freelance?
So right now? I work both freelance and at the company. I can't say which company I am working. This is like just me and you. We got the podcast. I can say it, but like I am not allowed to say that where I'm working at. But I can just say like I working like a full-time musician. I write and audio engineers. So I mix and master music for song for internally, both at the company and freelance. You know, like at the company, people just send me file internally, so I can mix and masters. Or freelance, that like people commission me to do this kind of stuff as well. So I have working freelance and at the company.
Wow, so no wonder you're so busy.
Yeah. So
I mean, you gave your Telegram as like public. So like anyone can message Snappy the busy dog.
Yeah. So I put like a biography saying like like collie busy collies, something like that. So like you know, like people can contact me on my Telegram about how all of this come together. Yeah, so I work in both internally and freelance for other clients that doesn't go through my companies. And so like I also like in charge of like music production. My main thing is music production. And I write lyrics and stuff for other artists, like mostly other big artists in the company, because it's the big recording labels. So I just write these kind of music for this for these artists to sing and to perform on stage as like a songwriters.
Sure. I still think that's really impressive, you know, for someone who like didn't you graduate like 3 years ago?
It was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and like you're always doing so much stuff. Like that is very impressive. You have an impressive resume. Um, I want to hear more about Tenkitsune. And this, I think, will probably wrap up this section about compositions, at least music composition. Like Tenkitsune, like what is it, and who is Tenkitsune, if we're allowed to know?
Okay, so for people who doesn't know Tenkitsune is my music projects. The image behind Tenkitsune was like this white hair, orange sodas, fox characters.
Orange soda. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Because like they just like, they just like sodas. I think, I guess.
Yeah.
but
like orange soda. Yeah. Do you have that in Vietnam? You guys actually drink that in Vietnam?
The only orange soda that I have in Vietnam is just either Fanta or Miranda's.
Yeah. No, yeah. I had to buy you real orange soda next time.
Yeah.
If they have it in Bangkok, if they have it, I'll actually.
Which is in a week.
Like, yeah. It's in a week. Yeah. So so are you telling me that you're secretly a fox? Is it like undercover? You're really a fox?
No, actually, okay. So for people who doesn't know, actually, this information not a lot of people know is
Right.
Tenkitsune used to be my fursuits.
Wow.
Yeah. So
my
so before Snappy, there was Tenkitsune's.
Right.
Tenkitsune's fursuna was just like an orange fox. So he became like a orange soda fox now because I was like, why not?
Yeah.
So
I'm glad another fox. Like, I mean, I'm a drink too. I'm a matcha latte fox. So I'm nice to meet another beverage fox.
Yeah, beverage fox or squash. So
yeah, dude.
I just use Tenkitsune as like my main thing and stuff until 2018 when I met a friend of mine. His name is Foxky. They live in the state actually. They one of my close friends, and still is my close friend, even though we still we haven't talked much nowadays due to the fact that like the time zone differences in the state and here was like, it's so crazy. It's like probably 12 hours differences.
Yeah, depending on where you live. Yeah, I mean, I know my parents, they live in Texas. Yeah.
I see. But yeah, it was like that. It was so crazy to like to interact to each other's. And other time I have like classes in college, and sometimes they happen in the morning, and the only time that I can talk to him to them is during the morning. Like I mean like this apply to people in the state.
Exactly.
So like. Actually, like for people who doesn't know now, and he allowed me to say this now, but like for people who doesn't know, Foxkeys, they first like furry name is Nonstop Pup on Twitter, and so I probably think like I probably think that some people would recognize them already because they kind of they kind of a big things on Twitter as well.
So Nonstop Pup, like what, like is it? Are they like an art? Sorry, I don't know.
They are musician as well, but they want to
okay.
They want to have me to grow as an artist, like an actual professional artist. So they comes in and they changed my life. They was like my first managers. So it was really fun working with them until
Sure.
It was like that until 2021. So like they told me like, you know what, you should separate things. Like you shouldn't make it like like just keep furry thing and professional thing is separated.
Right.
Actually, that's the reason why I have Snappy. So
good move.
I separate. I consider at that points on. I consider Tenkitsune just my music project brand. Like
yeah.
And Snappy is basically my my persona. So I didn't think much about it. One day, for people who doesn't know, actually Snappy come from like a YCH auction.
I don't remember that. Well, I guess yeah.
I don't think I'd say this
familiar,
to anybody, but like
okay.
I bought
Sure.
I bought Snappy from a friend because they never use it at all, and they was like, hey, you know what? You can have this because I need money anyway. Because I was like, they were like in trouble or something like that. I was like, okay, this I really like Border Collie. I like Spot. I like everything about them.
I love Border
So
Collie.
so I just like, you know what? I'll take it. So I turn and the original version of Snappy and stuff like that, and compared to now is like there's not much differences, but like I have to tweaks it so it slowly become my personas. So
and I think Snappy, like can you remind me again? Was it Bio who made him?
my fursuit.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, Bio made my fursuit. Yeah.
Shout out to Bio. Yeah, I remember that part. I remember that part because you told me about like the eyes. You told me, I was like, how come your eyes look like that? And then I think you said something like, I wanted Bio to make me look different or special. Or
Yeah. So people keep saying like my personal eyes, like it has a very unique color palette for eyes, right?
Yeah.
So like people thinking, people was like, you have hypnotized eyes. I was like,
yeah. Dude. I always thought that. I was like, oh my gosh. That's why I was like, that's why I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
When I first saw you, when I first saw like your profile like on Facebook or Twitter, I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
And now I know, but yeah.
Now he know.
So Tenkitsune, like you'll have to remind me, that came first before Snappy, right? Like Tenkitsune was like your first like account on Twitter, and then Snappy came afterwards. And then because like you're trying to separate like your professional and your furry, right?
Yeah. Basically, I try to separate things. I want like furry fandom activities and professional activities to be separated.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually mutual ideas from my manager at the times and me. So we did, and Snappy exists, and a bunch of I tell like a few friends of mine who know about Tenkitsune, like they found out my music and stuff like that, like which is like my close friend and stuff, mutual about Snappy, and I was like, like, hey, I made like a Twitters for my new persona Snappy and stuff like that. That was like 2017. Wow, that was like 2017.
Snappy in 2017. Wow, that's when I joined the fandom.
Actually, yeah. I think my managers met me in 2017, not 2018. Sorry. Yeah, it was 2017.
Sure.
Yeah, so like I met my manager there, and they gave me that idea. So I was like, for Snappy, I can, like for my Snappy tweeters, I can express everything. Like I want to like it's like my personal account to express my feeling and everything about the furry fandom, because like kind of my safe space to tell people and my friends about life, and Tenkitsune is more professional. That's the reason why people go to Tenkitsune. Just feel like, sometimes I tweet about stuff on there, but like also like it's mostly just about music.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just so happened to be that like you're expressing Tenkitsune as a fox.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily like a furry account. It's just like that's like a persona, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
that's
like
the image.
That's just an image, yeah. So Snappy become my personas. So Tenkitsune is basically just to simplify, Tenkitsune is the music project of Snappy. It's just that. Yeah.
There you go. Yes. Wow. Snappy's persona is a fox then.
I guess
a persona over persona.
A persona.
I mean, it's so interesting because like I think this might be like the last thing I'll say. Then we can talk about DJing.
Yeah.
But like when I Google Tenkitsune, like it's I mean it's like your account.
Yeah.
Like it's your professional. Like, you can Google that and you'll find like results on YouTube and stuff. And like I just looked at, I can't pronounce Vietnamese, but I look at like what's this like Chong Tu Chua Chong Lai. It's like Ween X MCK Tenkitsune. I was like, I listened to it, I was like, this is like some kind of Vietnamese rap, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
Is that you? Is that you rapping? Is that your voice, or is that the guy in the video rapping?
Oh, it's just the guy in the video rapping.
If you told me that was you, I would have believed you. I really would have believed you.
I mean, like I could, but I don't think I can.
Man, when I saw that, because you're at the point where like if you type in Tenkitsune, like Google search will actually just show a picture of you basically and all your productions. Like that's really cool. Like, yeah. I mean, my only claim to fame is I have an IMDb now. Like if you find me, like I'm not gonna say my name, but if you find my name, like I finally have an IMDb. So, but it's funny because like it's for something that like it's for a role I don't even know I did. But anyway, like that's all I have on me. I don't have like I don't have amazing SEO.
Yeah. So basically, Tenkitsune is just like a music project for Snappy.
These next few questions are about DJing, and they come from Burger. And so his like the first question we have here is like, what are the differences between DJing and performing on stage? I guess like the first question or like the first thing to mention is like, wow, so you're a DJ. Like in addition to all these like these like freelance projects, like you're also a DJ?
Yeah, I also a DJ. I work.
Okay.
I DJ at the festival and clubs. Yeah, in the local. I can just say in Vietnam as well. But like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just a small thing. I was on tour with Martine Record, which is like a big indie and longest running recording label in Japan. They come to Vietnam to do a show with me, which I was like a program director for the show as well.
Yeah.
It was back in 2019. Like this is like 1 year before COVID. So
Okay.
so like we went on tour. Went from the southern Vietnam. I have to fly to Ho Chi Minh City for this, and we with the tour, we just like slowly go from Ho Chi Minh City, go back to Hanoi, for show and stuff like that. It was amazing. So
Like I guess as first, so like when did you get into DJing? What was it that year? You said 2019 or was it before or?
actually, it was before, like back in 2017 when I started to 2018. 2018 is
Okay.
when I started to like get into DJing stuff.
Okay, gotcha. So then, like back to DJing, like what are the difference between DJing and performing on stage? Well, DJing and compositions, I think is the question.
Yeah, so like the DJing and live performing on stage is quite different. For me,
Gotcha.
for live perform, I perform my music live on stage. That's what is called live performing. So
Okay.
I place the my music on a launch pad. So I use it to trigger my instrument and just live performing in front of a bunch of people surrounding me.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
see now.
for
Yeah.
it was fun and stuff like live performance is when I can perform my music, my own music in front of my audience, like live, so
Yeah.
people can say I have sample of my music just in pieces, like, and I just use my launchpad to trigger it. Sometimes I play like on the keyboard as well, like live on the keyboard, so people can see me play on the keyboard.
So then, what about like DJing? Like, how does that differ from live performance?
So DJing is basically like like I prepare the song, and I have my DJ equipment. I just pack my DJ equipment and I go to the stage, and like I just I don't have to prepare much about it because I have a music that I want to play and stuff like that. It wasn't it not necessarily my music because I'm not like performing that music on stage, right? So I'm just like playing the music in front of people and just like depending on the mood and stuff like that, I just like switch between music and stuff. And so
For like, do DJs, like, again, like I'm pretty new to this, like do DJs then, so they're not really playing music as in like live performance or like playing like recordings? It's just you have like a playlist, right?
yeah,
Is
I
it
have a
more like that?
playlist. Imagine of like a Spotify playlist, and we just like we have the music, but like we have software to like to like, as a DJ, we use a playlist. We choose a song that we want to play for that show or something like that. We prepare it and we put it into the playlist. And so we put things together. And then honestly, for the song and stuff like that, we go through every song and then we queue up like like
Right.
putting on like the hot cue points on a song. So when we want to like mix in or do like doing a transition between song, which is like we can just like do it. We already like build up the playlist for that, right? So we just like going through the playlist and stuff like that. But sometimes we have to improvise because like we have to read the audience to know like what they want. We have to read the crowd, you know. That's why that's why we have to do for the I don't know if you were at the Taitao DJ dance party, but
I don't think I was. Sorry.
Yeah. So me and Lopra was like improvising towards the end of the DJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. That's how we DJs actually. For the DJ dance party, it's just like we have like all the like playlists and music and stuff that we want to play it, we just play it.
Gotcha. We only have like maybe like a couple more questions to ask. And you know, again, thank you so far for being with us. This next question is about like music production. But I guess you could also extend this to DJing, but it's more about music production. Like, how would you recommend a beginner to get involved with like music production? Like, where should they start?
I think that for music production, you can just most of the times I actually just to say I actually teach music production as well.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
teacher Snappy, all right, Mr. Snappy. Professor Snappy.
Yeah, so like for music production, I would recommend people just like trying out things because you know like I tell people to like get Ableton Live, FL Studio, like whatever kind of DAW that you comfortable with, or if you want to try, you can just get it. And because like I am only like work with I teach Ableton Live and FL Studio mostly, but if it was like out the door, I would recommend you guys were like checking on YouTube because like it wasn't like 10 years ago whereas like the concept of tutorial was like pretty new back then. But now it's like it's now like everywhere. I'm pretty sure that you guys will find it on social medias. So yeah, I think you guys will find most of the stuff on over there. And it was you can just have fun with it. Like the core thing about music production is that you have fun with what you want to target and stuff like that. Because like that's how I did back in the high school. I don't have much software. Like you know, like back in high school, I just like using FL Studio and Ableton Live at the same time. But like on like a crappy HP Pavilion G4 laptop that run very slowly.
HP Pavilion. Yep, I remember that model.
Yeah, so like I struggle with the CPU usage kind of things, and so what I did is just that I just experimenting with stuff. The core things that I tell to my student is that like you have to try to know because like I could be wrong. I cannot be right all the time. I could be wrong. So like to know if I'm wrong or not, you have to try to know. For music production, it's just like like you know like you have to experimenting to understand if this is gonna work for you or not because like sometimes you have to go against the laws of sound physics or frequency response or you know like all kind of stuff together. So like you can just do whatever you want. That's the core thing about music production is like you just have fun. And even though if you don't know anything about music production, you can just go on YouTube and just see how people are doing it, and you can just have fun with it. You can just tweak a bunch of knobs on a synthesizer, like on a software synthesizer, to see how it's gonna go for you.
Yeah, and so it's like that spirit of like having fun with it, like never forgetting that you know it's an enjoyment thing, right? Like you should do something that you enjoy, but then like also having like I guess like freedom, like freedom to experiment.
Yeah, so music production is the for me it's just like the process of like turning an idea into a real things.
Yeah.
And it is always like that for me. Again, the core things for everything involved into a music production is just like just having fun. My home is just like, you know, like back then I just used the cracked version of FL Studio or something like that because I don't
we've all been there.
I had to pirate things, and then slowly if you want to pursue music production and stuff like that, you can, you know, like you can just start out like me. You don't have to have much money, and you don't you can buy things, you can and you still want to try out. I'm not encouraging piracy or something like that. It's just like you can do whatever you want, and slowly you can just like I earn money from my music stuff, and so I slowly pay for my softwares and everything, and my hardware as well.
Even though that's the goal, you know, like eventually, like if you like it enough, hopefully you can monetize your passion to the point, like, you know, like instead of thinking of it as a hobby, like for people who want to actually make money off of it, you know, hopefully like that's the goal.
So yeah, that's all. That's like how
Sure.
I think people should do with the
All
music
right.
production.
Well said. Well said. Well, we really just have one last question by this point, and we tend to ask this question, but it's something that, you know, we're always curious about, and that's like, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Like, if I recall correctly, I think you're in the process of moving to Bangkok, I think, but like, you know, like tell us like what's in the future for Snappy?
For me, I just want to keep creating music, and I want to keep pursuing my own music stuff, because right now I just released my albums, A Little Fuck Adventure
Oh,
Part 2, which is like already, I'm just gonna say is it was like 4 years in the making, and
oh wow,
it just recently released, like back in June.
amazing.
I'm very
Okay,
proud of that. And
long
now
project. Wow, 4 years.
so right now I'm writing my next album at the moment. I just start making my next album already. It's gonna take me a few years to finish it. And also, like, you know, I just want to keep creating and, you know, like working with people and client and something like that,
Yeah,
collaborating with people, because like
you come across as a very creative person. I feel like
yeah,
you're a very hardworking, very creative person.
I can't say if I'm a creative person or not, but like I'm trying to be creative as much as possible, because like eventually it's just the core of everything that I do. So
Yeah.
yeah, you asked me if I still making the move to Bangkok. Yeah, I'm still making the move to Bangkok. I'm
Awesome.
middle of like processing, visa
Hmm.
processing and stuff like that before I move.
Yeah, because like you'll be moving there for like I mean, you don't have to say where you're working, but you're moving there for like a job, right?
Yeah, for a while.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like a long term move. It's not just like 1 or 2 months.
Actually, is probably like a few months and stuff like that. But like I want to see how it goes first, because like
Oh, okay. I see.
it is like a very
Yeah.
big things for me to do.
What about like DJing though? Like you mentioned that you also do DJing. Like, would you consider like doing more of that in the future, or?
Yeah, I still want to do more DJ, because DJ is like part of my things as well. So
Mhm.
like I mean, I still mainly gonna stick with composition, because that's what that's my main things, and DJ was
Yeah.
like a side things for me. But like
Mhm.
it's a thing that, you know, like DJing is fun, you know, you can just play music with other people, and it's just like, you know, like the
Yeah, the
people you
vibes, the
want.
crowd, people
And
love,
yeah,
you know, the music. Yeah.
and also like the thing is that, like, I don't know if people know, like I mean, like, you know that I play my
Yep.
quite a lot, so that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
translate very well for me for to do DJings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
And but like yeah, so like I stick with the composition more, because
Yeah.
that's my main things, and I just write music, you know, like writing music and DJ
Hmm.
is like a different things. So I write
And
music.
I
Yeah.
I have to interject and ask, like, you know, Tara is a huge fan of yours. Remember that one night he joined? Like, I think we were gaming at one point, and you joined at like 3 a.m. and we were talking all the way to like 5. But like, Tara's a huge fan of yours. But then, like, have you ever like talked to DJ Ice? I think you know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, I do know who that is, but I don't think I ever met them before.
Man, if you ever come to Infernity, like you'll probably see. I mean, in the future, if you ever come to a future Infernity, like, you know, you'll see he's cool. They're all very chill people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really nice. I mean, I heard Teru tell me so much about them, so it was fun.
Yeah. I think that basically wraps up our interview today. Thank you so much for spending about like what almost 2 hours with us, and you know, telling us about how it was growing up in Vietnam, your journey into music, how you know, disliked it at first, but then now now you got back into it.
Yeah.
You know, this is a man of many talents, that's for sure. And so, you know, the last segment of our podcast is always the social media shout out. So how can we find you? Where should we follow you?
if you want to follow my music project, Tenkitsune, you can find me at on Twitters and Instagram or Facebook at the Tenkitsune Music handles. So yeah, so also for if you want to follow like personal life and stuff as Snappy, actually Snappy having more followers than Tenkitsune for some reason.
Yeah.
So like Snappy, for Snappy you can find me at Snappy Puppers. Snappy Pupper, SNAPPYPUPPER, Snappy Puppers.
Right.
And yeah, you can find me at the same platform like Twitter's, Instagram or Facebook. Actually, I don't have Facebook, but I have like a personal Facebook that everyone knows. It's called Snappy Thomas.
Wow, is that really your name though? Like, or you're not allowed to say?
Oh, that's actually my official English name, Thomas.
Oh yeah. I'll call you Mr. Thomas.
Yeah. So people.
Oh, you know my real name. I'm not gonna say my real name, but you know my real name.
Yeah. I do know about your real name. So like, but like. Most of the time, like people can't, like people can't pronounce my Vietnamese name, so that's why I was like, I'll introduce you to my official English name that nobody knows.
Yeah. It's been a treat to have you on the podcast, Snappy. Like you mentioned before, it's something that we always wanted to do this year. And thank you, and really appreciate that you were able to fit us in like right before Furgets and right before First Square, but we were able to catch you after your Malaysia trip.
Yeah.
We always like to respect our guests. We respect people's time, so I'm glad that everything worked out. And with any luck, this episode should be released sometime this year. We're thinking that it's going to be in October. So for the people in October, it's just going to sound normal, I guess. But for us, like we're in August right now, so you know the magic of TV, the magic of editing will come through. So anyway, thank you again so much, Snappy, for being here on the pod.
Yeah.
I am Michael the Matcha Fox. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for having me in the podcast.